5 things you can do today to avoid burnout as you build your digital brand online. Let's get into it.
It's the Rose Show, CEO of Live Video. It's the Rose Show, CEO of Live Video. It's the Rose Show. It's the Rose Show Live.
Back and better than ever. Hi there, I'm Rashonda Pratt, known in the digital streets as The Rose Show Live, and you're watching Visibility is Power TV. I'm really excited today to talk to you about this particular topic about avoiding burnout as you're building a digital brand online because it's what I've experienced for the last couple of months. If you check out my YouTube channel here, you'll probably notice that I haven't dropped a new video in quite some time. And that's with good reason because life was happening and it was coming at me fast. And so today I want to talk to you about some of the things I discovered in really experiencing burnout. Many of your favorite content creators are experiencing the same thing. And I've even seen many of the people that I follow here on this platform that just decided to call it quits because just felt like they were on a hamster wheel, just felt like they were constantly under the microscope and just feeling like their creativity was shot. So if you're there already, or if you feel like you're getting there, or just to avoid it altogether, the 5 things I'm going to share with you today is really going to highlight how you can make sure that you don't have burnout as you're building and growing your visibility in this online space. So let's get into it. Your lack of clarity and overwhelm. Those are the things that can happen as you're building your digital brand here online. Now, here's what I mean by this. What I found myself doing was I was getting so caught up in keeping up with all of the new things that are happening online. Do you find yourself doing that? That you're trying to keep up with all the new trends and all the new sounds and all of those things. And nothing is wrong with understanding what is happening in the online space or understanding the new and innovative things rather that are happening. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I found I was doing was I was so focused on keeping up on all of those things that I was really lacking focus and clarity in my own business and really how I needed to show up in this online space. I found myself trying to do and show up as something that I know from the very beginning is not how God told me how to start this brand or what I felt was authentic to me. One of the solutions that I had to quickly do was stick with what I know. Now, in a world of short form content, which I love creating short form videos, I had to return back to my first love. And my first love is this, whether it's long form video, like a YouTube video here, or just even doing a live stream video. I had to go back to the thing that I love the most. Now, while I love short form video, I enjoy it. But my real love, my real passion is helping people understand how they can maximize their effort by creating a long form piece of content and using that longer form piece of content to create the shorter form video. So I had to get very clear about my goals, really identify who do I want to work with, who am I really called to serve, and prioritize rather the task in my life. Number 2, this is a big one, and I can't even believe that I'm going to admit this out loud, but perfectionism and the fear of failure. I often tell my clients all the time that, listen, we embrace progress over perfection every single time. And I believe that. I believe that we should not strive for perfection. But I found myself, and maybe you could identify with this, in this hamster wheel, don't know how I got there, this pressure to create perfect content. Even to the point, ladies and gentlemen, that I was thinking that I need to revamp my whole studio. I need to do it like the people online. Maybe my editing is too simple. Maybe my content needs to be more complex, more reflective, deeper, dare I say it. And what I realized is that You don't need to zhuzh this up. People like this background. You like it. Stick with what you know. So, what I had to do was, hey, stop trying to make this perfect, because what I found is in my own life, and you let me know if this resonates with you, when you're striving so much to be perfect, it lends itself to paralysis. You end up doing nothing. So I had to decide to set realistic expectations. Can we say that out loud? Can you say that to yourself? Realistic expectations. Yes. And what does that look like? Here's the thing, only you know that. I can't tell you what those realistic expectations are. It's kind of like when people say, oh, Rashonda, I want to be consistent with posting on social media. Then my next question to them is, what does consistent look like to you? Right? Because your consistent and my consistency will look totally different depending upon our life. So I had to go back to setting realistic expectations. Rashonda, stop trying to be perfect and live your own message of embracing progress over perfection every single time. This is a big one. This is a big one. Number 3, and I'm still working through this, ladies and gentlemen. Overcommitting and having a poor time management system. Overcommitting. When you say yes to everything, you're saying no to something else. Could it be that you're saying no to your assignment? You're saying no to the thing that you really should be doing. When you're saying yes to everything else, you're inevitably saying no to something else. What I have learned is this: poor boundaries leave you poor. Poor boundaries leave you broke. So, what I had to do was learn how to embrace the word no. I had to learn how to really put systems in place for real, like hiring an executive assistant to help me manage some of these other tasks so I can show up and focus and be here with you on camera. I had to learn how to stop overcommitting. Stop trying to squeeze so much in one day. I told my mentee something and I said, we really need to get rid of this thing that's happening in society, that being booked and busy means that you're really making impact, or it means that you've attained some level of success. Booked and busy is a lie. I told her, as a growing influencer, that she really should leave white space on her calendar. Because here's why: she had an opportunity to go do and create some content for BET. I said, well, what if BET wanted you just not for a weekend, but an entire week? But you've jammed so much into your schedule, you've overcommitted, that now you have to juggle and move so many things around just to show up to this opportunity that was created for you. Listen, stop overcommitting. Set boundaries in your life. Boundaries is not a curse word, ladies and gentlemen. Boundaries is a gift. Our whole body functions off of a boundary: the circulatory system, the nervous system, the skeletal system. Yes, I'm taking you back to science class. All of those things are boundaries. And what causes burnout in your life when you're building a digital brand is when you overcommit and you don't manage your time well. Number four, number four, when you don't have great self care or well being, this is a doozy. So you're neglecting yourself, right? In order to save everyone else, you're neglecting yourself. So you have poor eating habits, you have poor sleeping habits, right? This is one of the ways I started journaling. I started a gratitude journal for the past 60 days or so. And I love it because it gives me an opportunity to get out of my negative self talk, to get out of my head, right? And to really see the great things that are happening in my life. It's great for self care. I believe in therapy. I'm a big believer that you can have Jesus and therapy. So I'm grateful for therapy, and I meet with my therapist once a month. And also, sleep. I've discovered in this, me dealing with my burnout, I've also discovered the love for Mother Nature. You guys, I didn't think I really liked being outside because I don't want to see bugs. But I discovered, wait a minute, I do like the outdoors. And so sometimes I take a meeting and I don't show up on camera and I'm walking my backyard or I'm walking my neighborhood, right? During the day, I take an evening walk. Sometimes my husband or kids join me, but I take a walk and I don't have anything in my ear. I am just enjoying and letting nature minister to me and speak to me. We burn out when we don't take good care of ourselves and we don't have a good structure of well-being. And I want to say something about this. Well-being goes beyond just going to get a pedicure, a manicure, or guys, I don't know, a pedicure or a foot massage or back rub, whatever your thing is, it's beyond that. What I really believe that self-care is and well-being is the soul going deep. We talk a lot about that visibility is power, but visibility starts as an inside job. It's doing this inner work, the things on the inside. And number five, the last thing, comparison and imposter syndrome. Let me tell you something. The best of us deal with this. Yeah, your girl right here creating this video speaking to you deals with imposter syndrome. It shows up, right? And so when you see this happening, this can really erode your joy, your confidence, right? And really hinder your creative process. So one of the things that I've learned how to do is to celebrate. This is why I started journaling and I started a gratitude journal so that way I could be intentional in starting my day celebrating and ending my day celebrating. It's really powerful. And I'll share some of those resources that I use to journal with in below this video. So you can have that as well. Building a support system. So having friends who are not negative Nellies, but who can remind me of who I am and who can check me when I need receipts and say, Rashonda, but you did this. You're doing this. You're amazing. That's really great. And then also focusing on me, my strengths, my abilities. What is it that I'm really good at really helps me to deal with the comparison and imposter syndrome. Because the thing that I've learned about imposter syndrome is the people who are really imposters don't even deal with imposter syndrome. So, what if in your mind, when it starts to come up that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be found out, I'm not really good at this. Oh my gosh. When it starts to show its head, its rear, its ugly head to you, that you can say to yourself, if this is coming up, this is not true. And here's how I know it's not true. And you start to keep, even if it's in your phone, keep a running list of, I worked with this client and they were able to make six figures. I worked with this client and they were able to now write their book with joy. I worked with this client and now they were able to show up fully as themselves. You start to remind yourself of what's true, and that imposter syndrome thought that could feel like this starts to get smaller, smaller, smaller to the fact that it almost disappears. My commitment to you is I'm coming back, right? I'm coming back here to my YouTube channel to create content that not only brings me joy, but also really speaks to the holistic journey of creating content and communicating that content to the world. That's what you could expect here. There's been a lot of big changes that have happened in my life during my sabbatical or what's felt like a burnout. And that's come, as you can see, my hair's a little bit longer. This may not stay this way, and a little bit darker, may not stay this way for long. But there's also a lot of things that happen internally in my heart. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you on this journey. I'm saying here today, let me be your example. I'm returning back to my first love, which is video, long form video, live streaming. I'm returning back to the thing that's helped me to build a six-figure plus brand, that's helped me to go to stages in Paris, France, write an Amazon bestseller, been able to work with brands like Boeing and the Kellogg Foundation and LinkedIn. I'm returning back to my first love. And what I hope is from me coming back to you and sharing this content with you, that you will see yourself and you will decide to return back to the thing you know that God has called you to and He's been speaking to you about. Remember, You no longer have the right to remain silent. Your silence isn't golden. Your visibility is power, friend. And it's time to step fully into it. And remember, I'm forever cheering you on. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions or comments, post those below. And I look forward to seeing you during the next video. Talk to you soon.